Hey, welcome to this little yoga flow that will be appropriate for you during menstruation or during the liminal phase after ovulation, where you're waiting to see if you are pregnant or not and you're wanting to conceive a baby. So we'll start very gently and we'll also do a bit of a restorative practice. But let's warm up the spine a bit. So come into the happy cat, angry cat sequence. Take the time to spread out the fingers, make sure the wrists are under the shoulders. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, activate them. And inhale, look forward, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round out, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling, come forward, open up the collarbones, tilt the pelvis. Exhale, round out. Keep moving in this pattern. Use your breath as a guide. Allow the movement to last the whole length of the breath. And let the breath be the thing that initiates movement. Come back to neutral. And then begin to move in a more organic way. Perhaps exhale and look behind you at your feet. Inhale back through center and exhale to the other side. Get some nice sideways flexion of the spine. Feel free to pause and breathe into any area. Take a break. All right. Let's let that practice fall away and work a bit into the shoulders. Inhale, one arm high. Exhale, slide it between the wrist and the knee. Come down onto your shoulder. Perhaps you want to stretch out that top arm. Come back on up. Move to the other side. Inhale the arm high. Exhale, slide it between the wrist and the knee. Feel free to extend out that other arm. Bring the hand back up. And we're going to do a downward dog. Perhaps take your bolster or consider moving against the wall or a chair. And exhale into downward dog in a restorative way. Just stretching out the backs of the legs. Feel the neck elongate. Keep it as soft as you'd like to. Okay, come back down to the knees. Take the knees out to the edges of the mat. And turn your bolster or a couple of cushions in front of you. Sink the bottom back to the heels and place one cheek down on the bolster. Turn the face to place the other cheek down now. Walk the hands back up, and we're going to come into Hero's pose. You may like to sit on the bolster, bringing the knees together. If this is uncomfortable, sit further back on the bolster and have the knees wide. The bolster may be too high for you. You might prefer to sit on a blanket, or if you have very open hips, you can sit straight onto the floor. Open the heart space here. Keep a slight tuck of the chin and slow the breath down. Okay, come on out of Hero's pose, and let's move into our first forward fold. So forward folds, if you're quite restricted in your forward folds because of your hamstrings, the option is always to sit on a blanket to get just a bit of extra height, but it's all going to depend on where you're at. So the first one that we're going to do, there's two options. The first option is Janushirasana, which is where we have one leg extended with the foot flexed and our other foot pressing into our inner thigh. We then come forward if we can. If we can't, we stay upright. You can also use a strap, and this will be the same for every pose, the real thing to achieve is to find a way where you can support your body. So you want to be able to come onto something. That might also mean that you rest onto a chair. Alright, so we're going to take about 15 breaths in each of these positions. So the first option, Janushirasana. If Janushirasana is easy or you want something else, then the second option is a half lotus forward fold. Okay, so get comfortable. I will use the sound bowl to signify coming out, and then we'll move into the other side. Alright, open the chest, inhale, exhale, fold forward. on out. Let's find a comfortable position on the other side. And if you took Janushirasana, take Janushirasana again. And if you took half lotus, take that one again. So it's just whichever posture you felt like you needed today. Set yourself up. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Okay, let's find our second pose. I'm going to suggest butterfly. To make butterfly more restorative, it's really nice to sit onto the bolster, and you may be comfortable letting the head drop, or you may want to lean onto a chair. So choose what you'd like to do. Open the chest, inhale, exhale, come forward, relax into the pose. Come on out from butterfly, and you take a wide-legged forward fold. Again, use whatever props you need to make yourself comfortable, including resting onto the chair, which will be appropriate for lots of people. And take the legs out wide. Come forward onto the sit bones. Might need to use your blanket to get the height to do that. Inhale, open up the chest. And then exhale, come forward. Come on out of your wide-legged forward fold. Bring the knees back together. And we're going to set up for a couple of reclined poses. So if you don't have a bolster and a block, you can just use a variety of cushions against a couch or anything. You just find a way to make do. The first reclined pose is a butterfly pose. If it's uncomfortable to let the legs just flop out, you may need props or extra pillows to hold the knees before they reach their full extension. To come into the pose, bring the knees together, ground the feet down, take the hands behind you and slowly lower back onto the bolster, and then open the knees out, bring the soles of the feet together, and then take your thumbs together and your pointer fingers together and place them onto your womb space and settle in for our longer hold. Okay, let's come into another reclined posture. This time either half hero or full hero. If both of these options are wildly uncomfortable and you have pain in your knees, come back to the pose that we did first and take a longer amount of time sitting upright to bring some openness to the hip flexors and the hamstrings. Alright, if you're going to take half hero, I'll cue a change halfway through. Otherwise, settle in, deepen the breath and melt onto the bolster. You may actually find that that's too high. It's okay to be lower. And some of you might actually not need props at all. The arms can come above the head or potentially out to the side, or again onto the womb space. If you're in half hero, this is your cue to change to the other side. If you're in fully reclined hero, just stay where you are. If you were sitting upright, let's take another restorative child's pose. Take the knees out to the edges of the mat. And we want the forehead to connect down. If the forehead is not connecting down with the floor, this is when you take a block or a bolster. Time for everyone to come out of their poses now. And our last pose is going to be a reclined bridge. You can use a block. I think it's too hard on the sacrum personally. It's better to use a bolster or some cushions. And there's no elegant way to come into it. Bend the knees, ground the feet down, keep the bottom on the bolster, and then slowly lower yourself down onto the floor. And we want to probably keep the feet bent, knees bent and the feet grounding down. If you really would like, you could stretch the feet out. It's my recommendation to stay with the knees up, however, and either open out the arms or take the hands again onto the womb space. The easiest way to come out is to draw your knees slightly towards your chest and roll off to the side. And let's find a Shavasana. That may be lying flat with something under your knees. Keep warm. Do cover yourself with a blanket. What I'm actually going to recommend is a position where you place your feet up onto the couch or a chair, and the video is just going to run out while we're here, so you stay here for as long as you like. It would be normal to stay in Shavasana for 10 minutes, but feel free to move out when you're ready. Thank you, everyone.